Well, Chiefs fans, I hate to say I told you so, but it's going to be the Chiefs versus the Eagles in this coming Super Bowl. We called it here at RGR Football, but I have to say it wasn't that tough to call. The Lions had a lot of injuries, and of course, Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs are going to go to the Super Bowl. And the Eagles were just the best remaining team after we kind of understood that the Lions didn't necessarily have enough players to make it there. So it's going to be the Eagles and the Chiefs. And I want to say that there's a lot of intrigue about this Super Bowl. I know that the majority, well, maybe not the majority, but a lot of people have Chiefs fatigue. And a lot of people don't like the Eagles. So this is almost like the hater bowl of Super Bowls, where a lot of people may be hating both of these teams. They may tune out or they may tune in. I think that this Super Bowl, the viewership numbers are going to play a good representation of how well the Chiefs are doing and how much they are hated or unhated. If you get on social media, it takes 0 seconds, if you're in the Chiefs sphere of social media, to see people talking about how the Chiefs are getting help from the refs, how they hate the Chiefs, all these different things. The Chiefs have morphed from this beloved darling to this hated villain in the last 3 years. And I believe that has to do, I believe the reason for it is a number of things. One thing is that the Chiefs have beaten nearly every team in the AFC and some in the NFC in the playoffs. And with that comes some hatred. You are frustrated with that team. You don't like that team. The Titans' best shot was stopped by the Chiefs. The Bills have been stopped 4 times by the Chiefs. The Bengals were recently stopped by the Chiefs. The Ravens were stopped by the Chiefs. The Dolphins' best shot in the last several years was stopped by the Chiefs. The Texans' best shot a couple times were stopped by the Chiefs. The last time the Browns were in the playoffs, they were stopped by the Chiefs. The list goes on and on. Not to mention you have the AFC West teams who by default hate the Chiefs. So as the Chiefs have been more and more successful, they've garnered more and more enemies, and that is to be expected. In addition to that, you have this whole garbage of people blaming the refs for the Chiefs winning. The refs are helping the Chiefs. This is the same song and dance as what happened with the Patriots. The fans were envious of the Patriots' success, and so they were saying the refs gave them a lot of calls. But there's a difference between the Chiefs dynasty and the Patriots dynasty. And that is that the Patriots actually 2 times were caught cheating. And the Chiefs have not once had any situation like that or incident like that. And this whole conversation about the refs doing this or that is tarnishing the reputation of this awesome dynasty, in my opinion. It kind of sours it. So I want the Chiefs to go into the Super Bowl and win that Super Bowl in spite of all of that. In addition to that, I am still waiting for one image on that 4th and 1 sneak that Josh Allen did. I'm looking for one image where the ball was across the plane, because I am yet to see it. And the reason I haven't seen it is because it doesn't exist. The only reason fans are losing their minds over this, saying that it was a bad spot, was because of the broadcast angle. The broadcast angle looked like, yes, he made it across. But if you look down the sideline, where you have a straight line, he did not. And they reviewed it. And it was clear that he did not make it. So, just once again, people wanting to believe what they want to believe about the Chiefs, and the reality has been thrown out the window. So go ahead, keep blaming the refs. I've said it before. Blaming the refs is the refuge of losers. If you want to keep being a loser, keep being a loser. In my opinion, when the Chiefs lost the coin toss to the the New England Patriots, who are led by Tom Brady, and the Chiefs didn't win that game, they didn't complain. They didn't complain about Dee Ford's offsides call. They didn't complain about a number of things. Instead, after that press conference, they said, we have to play better. Contrast that with what the Texans said, and they were blaming the refs. They said, we knew when we got to this game we were going to have to beat the Chiefs and the refs. That's a defeatist mentality. They already lost the minute they got in the building. If you cannot accept personal responsibility for things that happen in your life and you are blaming it on an external locus, then the problem is not with the refs, it is with you. They should have played better. They should have won. So the Chiefs took ownership after that game versus New England Patriots so long ago, and what do you know? They've won potentially 4 of the last 6 Super Bowls if they're able to complete the three-peat on Super Bowl Sunday. Speaking of villains, people want to make the Chiefs the villains, but I believe there is a very clear villain in this game, and they have nothing to do with the Chiefs. It is Nick Sirianni. So Nick Sirianni, the last time the Chiefs played the Eagles was during a regular season matchup a couple seasons ago. After the game, Sirianni was giving high fives to Eagles fans who were still at the game, and he was also, while doing that, yelling at Chiefs fans, and on his way out of the tunnel, he proclaimed, Chiefs fans, I don't hear explicative. This is a family channel. I don't hear explicative anymore from you all. And then he takes a few more steps, and he says, see ya. And the way he said see you was in such... it sounded like something a tool bag would say, for lack of a better term. And so this kind of behavior is unbecoming of an NFL coach. Andy Reid never in a million years would behave like this after a win. He always respects his opponents, respects the other team's fans. He is a class act and a wonderful representative of Chiefs Kingdom. Nick Sirianni, on the other hand, has known to be having a temper, yelling like this, getting emotional during games, and not in a good way. And so the villain is clear in this situation, and it's not the Chiefs. It is Nick Sirianni. And don't think for one second the Chiefs aren't going to use him disrespecting their fan base as fuel for this matchup versus the Eagles. In addition to that, I think this video is going to be shown a lot between now and the Super Bowl. And by the end of the Super Bowl, Nick Sirianni is going to have egg on his face. He is going to regret going into Kansas City and saying that. And in my opinion, Nick Sirianni is not that good of a head coach. He is being propped up by Kellen Moore and Vic Fangio and a great roster. It is my opinion that once Vic Fangio and Kellen Moore move on, Nick Sirianni will not last as a head coach in the NFL for more than 2 or 3 years. In terms of X's and O's, since he relies on his coordinators so much, this is a terrible matchup for the Eagles, in my opinion. And the reason I say that is specifically around Vic Fangio and his defense. Vic Fangio wants to run a majority zone defense. Oftentimes he'll run a cover 4 or some type of 2-deep safety look. He does like to mix and match and disguise coverages, but last week we saw the Chiefs versus the Bills, and they started the game in zone defense, and the Chiefs were just picking them apart. Mahomes is 8-0 versus Vic Fangio defenses. And if Vic Fangio wants to play zone all game long, he is in for a rude awakening, because Travis Kelce's going to pick that apart. DeAndre Hopkins is going to pick it apart. Xavier Worthy's going to force the zone to stretch a little bit, maybe get some guys out of position. And then Hollywood Brown knows what he's doing against the zone defense too. Not to mention Noah Gray is a heads-up player as well, knows how to play zone. And so the Bills started versus the Chiefs playing zone, and as the game went on, they threw up their hands and said, we can't be playing zone defense. We have to switch to man. And that's when the Chiefs moved to their man beaters. And if you remember that last first down that they got with Samaje Perine, that was a play where there were a bunch of three receivers for the Chiefs on the left. Samaje Perine was on the right. The linebacker on the opposite side of the field was on Perine. The three receivers cut across and effectively made a wall of a screen so that this linebacker couldn't get through. And then Samaje Perine gets a first down easily. So the Chiefs have these plays to beat man. If the Eagles go to man, if they give in because they're tired of getting picked apart by Patrick Mahomes, then they'll instill their man beaters and they'll beat them that way. This is a bad matchup for the Eagles. Yes, the Eagles have an awesome roster, but it doesn't matter how good your players are if your scheme can be defeated. And Andy Reid has proven time and time again that he can defeat Vic Fangio's scheme. So I do not think this is a good matchup for the Eagles. In terms of teams that were left, the best matchup for the Eagles would have been the Bills. The worst matchup for the Eagles is the Chiefs. In addition to that, I am of the belief that Andy Reid, having done almost everything the right way through his time in the NFL as a coach, as a coordinator, as a quarterback's coach, all the above, having done the right thing, it would only be karmic justice if the Chiefs beat up the Eagles in the upcoming Super Bowl for the Chiefs to complete the three-peat, and Andy Reid goes to be known as one of, if not the best head coaches of all time, as he beats his former team. That is karmic justice, especially with the way Nick Sirianni behaved the last time the Chiefs and Eagles played each other. So it's pretty clear I'm picking the Chiefs to win this Super Bowl, but they got to play the game first. And we've got a bye week, so the Chiefs are getting ready this week. And then next week, they'll be in New Orleans, which will be a crazy week. They won't have as much time. And so they're probably trying to get in as much as they can this week before they head down for media availability in New Orleans. But that's all I've got to share this week. Let me know down in the comments whether or not you agree with my karmic justice theory, or, if you don't think karma is a thing. But let me know down in the comments. As always, it's been great, having this opportunity to speak on this platform with you all. The Chiefs are on the verge of doing something that's never been done, and I am here for it, and I think they're going to cross that finish line. This is Gary, signing out.
Thanks for watching this video from the team at RGR Football. Click these videos to see more and subscribe to RGR Football.